Now let's continue from number 28 now. Number 28 says b squared minus b is equal to 72. So this is the same thing as 1b squared minus b is 72, or 1b squared minus b minus 72 is 0. If you bring 72 to the left hand side from here, it is positive here. If you bring it to this place, it will become minus 72 across the coordinate. So what do you do next? Multiply 1 by minus 72, you get minus 72. If you are not looking for minus b here is the same thing as minus 1b. You are looking for factors of minus 72 that we add to give minus 1 and multiply to give minus 72. The factors are plus 8 minus 9. They are plus 8 and what? Minus 9. So this is b squared plus 8b minus 9b minus 72 is 0. What does that give you? You know how to factorize, so I'm just going to go ahead and write my factors. b plus 8 minus 9 b plus 8 is 0. This gives you what? B plus 8 times b minus 9 is equal to 0. So b plus 8 is 0, or b minus 9 is 0. That means what? B is 0 minus 8, or b is 0 plus 9. B is minus 8 or 9. That's your answer to number 28. Let's go to 29. 29 is 3x squared plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. 29. 3x squared plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. 3 times plus 1 plus 3. The factors of plus 3 that we add to give plus 4 and add to give plus 4 and multiply to give plus 3 are plus 1 and plus 3. So that's going to be what? 3x squared plus 3x plus 1x plus 1 is equal to 0. I hope you can see that very well. So common factors: 3x, x plus 1, then plus 1, x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is going to give you 3x plus 1 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. So split this now. What do you get? 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 1 is equal to 0. That will be 3x is 0 minus 1, or x is 0 minus 1. So 3x is minus 1, or x is what? Minus 1. 3x is minus 1, or x is minus 1. This gives you x is minus 1 over 3, or x is what? Minus 1. That's x is minus 1 over 3, or minus 1. So take note. That's number 29. Number 30 now. Question 30 says 9h squared is equal to 6h minus 1. 9h squared is 6h minus 1. I need to rearrange. This is 9h squared minus 6h plus 1 is 0. I hope you understand. This is plus 6h. If you bring it to the left, it will become minus 6h. This is minus 1. If you bring it to the left, it becomes plus 1. So 9h squared minus 6h plus 1 is equal to 0. Now 9 times plus 1 plus 9. Two factors that we multiply to give plus 9 and add to give minus 6 and minus 3 and minus 3. So this is minus 3 minus what? 3. So my factors are 9h squared minus 3h minus 3h plus 1 is equal to 0. This will give you 3h minus 1, then minus 1, 3h minus 1. I've taught you how to do factorization in steps, so I don't need to show that completely. That's what? 3h minus 1 and what? 3h minus 1 is 0. So put it together. That's 3h minus 1 is 0, or 3h minus 1 is 0. So that gives you what? 3h is 0 plus 1, or 3h is what? 0 plus 1. So 3h is 1, or 3h is 1. That gives you what? h is 1 over 3, or h is what? 1 over 3. So h is 1 over 3, comma 1 over 3. We can leave our answer like that, or sometimes we write h is 1 over 3 twice. So any one of these ways is correct to leave our answer. Number 31 now. Question 31 now. Question 31 says 16k squared plus 8k plus 1 is equal to 0. 16k squared plus 8k plus 1 is 0. So multiply 16 by 1, you get plus 16. Two factors of 16 that will add to give plus 8, that will add to give plus 8 and multiply to give plus 16 are plus 4 and plus 4. So that's what? 16k squared plus 4k plus 4k plus 1 is equal to 0. So that's what? 16. Okay, let me quickly do this for you. 16 is 4 times 4. K squared is k times k. Here 4k is what? 4 times k. So you will see my common factors are k and 4. So if I write 4k out, in the first term I'll be left with 4k, and in the second term I can put 1 here, so that I'll be left with what? Plus 1. So my answer for the first half of the factorization is 4k common, then 4k plus 1. So you can see now I actually don't need this, so I can clean it. I just need my answer, 4k times 4k plus 1. I taught you how to do factorization from basics. 4k open bracket 4k plus 1, then plus 1 open bracket 4k plus 1 is 0. I hope you understand how I did that. I want to factorize 4k plus 1. 4k is 4 times k, plus 1 is 1 times 1. So what is common? 1 is common because I can add 1 here. So 1 is common. So plus 1. That one is positive. I'll be left with 4k plus 1. I hope you understand that factorization. Let me do it again. 4k here is the same. 4k here is the same thing as 4 times k times 1. Then the plus 1 on the second term is what? 1 times 1 also. 1 times 1 also. So I can pick my factors as 1, and that one is positive. I'll be left with 4k in the first term and 1 in the second term. So moving forward, plus 1 times 4k plus 1. This gives me what? 4k plus 1 times what? 4k plus 1 is equal to 0. So 4k plus 1 is 0, or 4k plus 1 is 0. That's what? 4k is 0 minus 1, or 4k is 0 minus 1. So k is equal to k is minus 1 over 4, or k is minus 1 over 4. So k is minus 1 over 4, comma, minus 1 over 4. That gives you what? K is minus 1 over 4 twice. We can leave our answer in any of these forms. So let's proceed. That was 31. Let's go to 32 now. It's a long journey, but one step at a time we get to the end. 2c squared plus 5c plus 3 is 0. 2c squared plus 5c plus 3 is equal to 0. What does it give you? 2 times 3. That's what? Plus 6. What numbers? We add to give plus 5, add to give plus 5, and multiply to give plus 6. The two numbers are plus 2 and plus 3. So I'm going to write my next step as 2c squared plus 2c plus what? 3c plus 3 is equal to 0. Now 2c squared quickly is 2 times c times c. I'm not supposed to do this for you anymore, but I'm just trying to be nice. So my common factors are c and what? 2. So I think I can add 1 here so that I can have c plus 1 left. So my common factors 2c, and in the first term I have c left, in the second term I have plus 1 left. That one is positive, so I'll put 1 behind it. So that gives me what? That gives me 2c open bracket c plus 1. Now 3c and plus 3. I also need to factorize this. 3c is 3 times c plus 3 is 3 times 1, or 3 times plus 1 if you choose to write like that. That means 3 is common, and I will have c plus 1 left too. So what does that give you? That gives you 3c times c plus 1. So plus 3, no, not 3c, plus 3 times c plus 1 is 0. So my factors are 2c plus 3 and what? C plus 1 is 0. 2c plus 3 is 0, or c plus 1 is 0. 2c is 0 minus 3, or c is 0 minus 1. 2c is 0 minus 3, or c is 0 minus 1. So that's what? 2c is minus 3, or that's 2c is minus 3, or c is minus 1. C is minus 3 over 2, or c is minus 1. So c is minus 1 and a half, or minus 1. C is minus 1 and a half, or minus 1. That's number 32. Let's go to 33. 3d squared minus 5d minus 2 is 0. 3d squared minus 5d minus 2 is 0. Question 33. 3 times minus 2, minus 6. What factors of minus 6? What factors of minus 6? We add to give minus 6 and multiply to give. We add to give. What factors of minus 6? We add to give minus 5 and multiply to give minus 6. Definitely, that's 1 and what? 1 and 5. That's what? Plus 1 and minus 6. That's what it should be. Plus 1 and minus 6. So that's plus 1 and minus 6. Plus 1 minus 6 will give you minus 5. But plus 1 times minus 6, 1 multiplied, will give you minus 6. So those are correct factors. Let's go. 3d squared plus 1d minus 6d minus 2 is 0. That gives what? D open bracket 3d plus 1 minus 2 open bracket 3d plus 1 is 0. You can figure out how you got the factors yourself. You just use a jotter or do it on a rough sheet. step by step the way we did it when we started doing the fundamentals, or when we started doing factorization. You will get it. So this is what d minus 2 times 3d plus 1 is 0. Now this is d minus 2 is 0, or 3d plus 1 is 0. D minus 2 is 0, or 3d plus 1 is what? 0. This gives d is 0 plus 2, or 3d is 0 minus 1. So what does that give you? D is 2, or 3d is minus 1. D is 2, or d is minus 1 over 3. So that ends that question. D is 2 or minus 1 over 3. Number 34. Number 34. Number 34. 4e squared minus 20e plus 25 is equal to 0. 4e squared minus 20e plus 25 is 0. Let me check again. 4e squared minus 20e plus 25 is 0. 4 times plus 25, that's plus 100. That's plus 100. So here, what numbers we add to give minus 20 and multiply to give plus 100? I think that's minus 10 and minus 10. Minus 10 minus 10 will give you minus 20. But minus 10 times minus 10 will give you plus 100. So those factors are correct. I'm supposed to write this as what? 4e squared. 4e squared minus 10e minus 10e plus 25 is what? 0. So let me help with the factorization here. 4 is 2 times 2. E squared is e times e minus 10e. 10 is 2 times 5. Then there's an e and there's a minus. So that's times e times minus 1. So you pick your common factors 2. You also pick your common factors e. I think that's all we can get. So we get 2e, open bracket, 2e minus 5. I hope you get that. 2e, open bracket, 2e minus 5. You can pause to check it very well. 2e, open bracket, 2e minus 5. Then next step, I want to factorize minus 10e and plus 25. 10 is 2 times 5. There's an e there and there's a minus sign. So that's times e times minus 1. Then here, 25 is 5 times 5. I have plus here and I have minus up here. So in order to get common factors, I'll split the plus into minus 1 times minus 1 so that I can get minus 1 as my factor here, and I can get 5 here, and I will also get 5 here. So that means my highest common factor is minus 5. These are just common factors, minus 1 and 5, but my highest common factor will be minus 5. Minus 5, open bracket, 2e minus 5. Minus 5, open bracket, 2e minus 5. So what does that give me? What does that give me? Minus 5, open bracket, 2e minus 5. So that's what? 2e minus 5. 2e minus 5 is 0. So 2e minus 5 is 0, or 2e minus 5 is 0. That gives you 2e is 0 plus 5, or 2e is what? 0 plus 5. Put the two together, what do you get? Excuse me. So this is what 2e is 5, or 2e is 5. That gives you e is 5 over 2, or e is 5 over 2. So e is 5 over 2, comma 5 over 2. You can change it to e is 2 and a half, comma 2 and a half. And you can also write a final answer as e is 2 and a half twice. So e is what? 2 and a half twice. That was 34. Let's go to question 35. Let's go to question 35. 9f squared plus 12f plus 4 is 0. 9f squared plus 12f plus 4 is 0. 9 times 4, that's plus 36. Two numbers that we add to give plus 12 and multiply to give plus 36 are plus 6 and plus 6. So this is 9f squared plus 6f plus 6f plus 4 is 0. You split the factors the way we do it. Let me, help you further. 9 is 3 times 3. I'm not supposed to be doing this anymore, but I'm just trying to be nice to you. 9 is 3 times 3. F squared is f times f. 6 is 2 times 3. And there's an f. So my common factors will be f and what? 3. That gives me what? 3f. Do you understand? So 3f. In the first row, I'm left with 3 times f, 3f. That's how we get the remaining factors. Then in the second row, I'm left with plus 2. So plus 2. So my factor, my what's it called? First half of the factorization will be 3f times 3f plus 2. Let's put that together. 3f times 3f plus 2. You can stop showing these steps now, so as to make your work faster. Anyone you really need to, do a rough work on, do that rough work I just cleaned on a rough sheet or in a jotter, and just write 3f, open bracket, f plus 2, plus what? Plus 2, open bracket, 3f plus 2 is 0. This is how I got that second half of the factorization here. Let me show you. 6f plus 4. 6f, 6 is 2 times 3 times f. 4 is 2 times 2. So common factor 2. If you have common factor of 2, that means the common factor is plus 2. In the first row, you have what left? In the first row, you have 3f left. And in the second row, you have f left. So plus 2, open bracket, 3f plus 2 is your common factor. So that's how I got the second half of the factorization. So putting that together, I'll get 3f plus 2 times 3f plus 2 is what? 0. So 3f plus 2 is 0, or 3f plus 2 is what? 0. So what does that give you? 3f is 0 minus 2, or what? 3f is what? 3f is 0 minus 2, or 3f is 0 minus 2. So f is what? Minus 2. 3f is minus 2. Let's take it slowly. Or 3f is minus 2. So f is minus 2 over 3. Or what? F is minus 2 over 3. So I can write f is minus 2 over 3, comma minus 2 over 3. Or I can write f is minus 2 over 3 twice. This is Another way of expressing our answer. 36 now, 4a squared minus 11a is 3. Okay, I'm losing that page then. Okay, so 30 what? 6 now. I think I got that right. Okay, 4a squared. 4a squared minus 11a is equal to what? 3. 4a squared minus 11a is 3. So 4a squared minus 11a minus 3 is 0. Okay, I got that right. 4a squared minus 11a is equal to 3. So if I bring 3 to the left hand side, it is plus 3a. When I move it to the left hand side in this corner, it will change to what? It will change to minus 3. So that's 4a squared minus 11a minus 3 is equal to 0. So 4 times minus 3, that's what? Minus 12. So what factors of minus 12 we add to give plus 11 and multiply to give minus 12? That's plus 1 and minus 12. So this is meant to be what? 4a squared plus 1a minus 12a minus 3 is 0. So this is a, 4a plus 1, and this is going to be minus 3, 4a plus 1. So you can figure out that yourself by using a rough sheet to do it manually. So you should have an eye for factors now, so that you'll be faster. Now this is a minus 3 is 0, or 4a plus 1 is 0. So a is 0 plus 3. I'm supposed to skip this step too. I will soon stop writing all of these elementary steps. So a is what? 3, or 4a is what? Minus 1. A is 3, or what? A is minus 1 over 4. So put your answers together. A is 3, or minus 1 over 4. Okay, that answers question 36. Let's go to 37. 37. In 37, what do we have? B squared plus 7b is 44. In 37, b squared plus 7b is equal to 44. I can rearrange. B squared plus 7b minus 44 is 0. B squared is 1b squared. 1 times minus 44 minus 44. The factors are plus 4, plus 11, and minus 4. I think that's the correct factor. 11 minus 4 will give plus 7 when added, and multiply to give minus 44. So those are my correct factors. I'm supposed to write b squared plus what? 11b minus 4b minus 44 is 0. So b plus 11 minus 4, b plus 11 is 0. That gives me what? B minus 4 times b plus 11 is 0. So b minus 4 is 0, or b plus 11 is what? 0. That gives you what? That gives you b is 0 plus 4, or b is what? 0 minus 11. B is 4 or minus 11. So you take note of that. That's number 37. Number 38 now. Number 38 now. In 38, what do you have? 7m squared is equal to 3m. 7m squared is equal to 3m. So here I'm to collect the terms together. 7m squared minus 3m is 0. M is common to this. I think we did this. We have done this several times. 7m squared is 7 times m minus 3m is 3 times m, then the minus there. So the only common factor is what? M. After taking m, which is a common factor, you will have 7m left and minus 3 left in the second term. In the first time you have 7m left, you multiply all of these remaining factors or remaining values, then multiply this one to 3 times minus 1. So 7 times m will give you 7m. 3 times minus 1 will give you minus 3. That's how we do factorization. So that's how we got 7m. That's how we got m open bracket 7m minus 3 is 0. So this will split into m is equal to 0 or 7m minus 3 is 0. M is 0 or 7m is 3. So that gives you what? That gives you m is equal to 0 or m is equal to 3 over 7. M is 0 or 3 over 7. So that's 38. Let's go to question 39. We are moving forward. In question 39, 5n squared plus 2n is equal to 0. 5n squared plus 2n is 0. So n is the common factor. 5n plus 2 is 0. So that gives you what? N is 0 or 5n plus 2 is 0. N is 0 or 5n is 0 minus 2. N is 0 or 5n is minus 2. What does this give you now? N is 0 or n is minus 2 over 5. So that's n is 0 or what? N is 0 or minus 2 over 5. You can put it together here. N is 0 or minus 2 over 5. Number 40. Number 40. Question 40, we are on 2p squared minus 11p plus 5 is equal to 0. 2p squared minus 11p. 2p squared minus 11p plus 5 is equal to 0. So here I'm to multiply these 2 by 5. 2 times plus 5 will give me plus 10. 2 factors of plus 10 that we add to give minus 11 and multiply to give plus 10 are minus 1 and minus 10. So I will write this as 2p squared minus 1p minus 10p plus 5 is 0. So here you have to figure out the factors yourself. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify. Minus 5, 2p minus 1 is 0. So p minus 5 times 2p minus 1 is what? 0. That gives me what? That gives me p minus 5. P minus 5 is 0 or 2p minus 1 is 0. P is equal to 0 plus 5 or 2p is equal to 0 plus 1. So that's what? P is equal to 5 or 2p is equal to 1. So p is equal to 5 or p is equal to 1 over 2. That's what p is equal to 5 or 1 over 2. P is equal to 5 or 1 over 2. So we are making progress. Let's just keep trying. 5 cubed squared plus 11 cubed plus 2 is 0. 5 cubed squared plus 11 cubed plus 2 is 0. 5 cubed squared plus 11 cubed plus 2 is what? 0. So here, what am I supposed to do? 5 times 2. I'm supposed to do 5 times 2 plus 10. 5 times 2 plus 10. What factors of 10 we add to give plus 11 and multiply to give plus 10? That's what? Plus 1 and plus 10. Plus 1 times plus 10 will give you plus 10 when multiplied, and plus 1 plus 10 will give you plus 11 when added. So those are my factors. Let's go. 5 cubed squared plus 1 cube plus what? 10 cube plus 2 is 0. This will give me cube, open bracket, 5 cube plus 1, then plus 2, open bracket, 5 cube plus 1. I'm sure by now you know how to do that rough work perfectly, so I don't need to be writing it for you anymore. So, but once in a while I can show some nicety and just help you. But I'm very sure you can do it yourself now too. So this gives me cube plus 2 is 0, or 5 cube plus 1 is 0. I can be nice once in a while and help you. But I'm sure you can do it yourself too. That's more important. 5 cube is 0 minus 1. So cube is minus 2, or cube is what? Minus 1 over 5. Cube is minus 2 or minus 1 over 5. That's the answer to number 41. Let's go to 42. Let's go to number 42. 25z squared is equal to 9. 25z squared is 9. So let's collect like 10. 25. Sorry, let's just bring everything to the left hand side. 25z squared minus 9 is 0. Now, 25 is 5 squared. Z squared is z squared. 9 is 3 squared is 0. I'm trying to use the difference of 2 squared for this because on inspection, I can see that 25z squared is a perfect square. So I can now use this for it. Exactly. So that gives me what? 5z all squared minus 3 squared is what? 0. So that's 5z plus 3 times 5z minus 3. 5z plus 3 times 5z minus 3 is equal to what? 0. So 5z plus 3 is 0, or 5z minus 3 is 0. So 5z is 0 minus 3, or 5z is 0 plus 3. That gives me what? Z. Okay, let's keep the z. 0 minus 3 is minus 3, or 5z is what? 3. So what does that give me? Z is minus 3. Z is minus 3 over 5, or z is what? 3 over 5. So I can put the two together. Z is minus 3 over 5, or 3 over 5. I think that ends the question. Also, I can do this question in another way. Let's take a second method. Otherwise, let's just take a second method, which may be shorter. 25z squared is 9. Z squared is 9 over 25. If I just divide both sides by 25, so z is plus or minus square root of 9 over 25. Take note of how I introduce plus or minus. When evaluating square roots of numbers, it's more correct to introduce plus or minus instead of just finding one answer, especially because this is a quadratic equation. So z will be plus or minus root 9 over what? Plus or minus root 5. Or let's say z is plus or minus root 9 over root 25. Root 9 over 25 here is the same thing as root 9 over root 25. So what does that give you? Z is plus or minus 3 over 5. That's what z is equal to plus 3 over 5 or minus 3 over 5. So we can do it like this too, using this method. Okay, that was 42. Let's go to question 43. Now, in question 43, what do we have in question 43? 6y squared. 6y squared is equal to y plus 1. 6y squared is equal to y plus 1. 6y squared is equal to y plus 1. So 6y squared minus y minus 1 is 0. Now, if you bring y to the left, it becomes minus y. Also, if you bring plus 1 to the left, it becomes minus 1. So, what does that give you? 6y squared. Okay, I'm to multiply 6 by minus 1. That will give me minus 6. What are the factors of minus 6 that we add to give minus 1? Because there's minus 1 here. This is minus 1, 1. What factors of minus 6 we add to give minus 1 here? We add to give minus 1 and multiply to give minus 6. What factors of minus 6 we add to give minus 1 and multiply to give minus 6? That's minus 3 and plus 2. I'm sure you remember this. We have used this several times. So I'm supposed to write 6y squared now. Minus 3y plus 2y minus 1 is 0. Do you understand what I just did there? Instead of writing minus 1y, I'll just write minus 3y plus 2y. Then keep this minus 1 is equal to 0. Exactly. So let's factorize now. Factorization will give you 3y, 2y minus 1. Here you will get plus 1, 2y minus 1. If you do it neatly, that second part, let me help you. 2y is 2 times y. Minus 1 is 1 times minus 1. So I can add 1 here too. So that at the end of the day, my common factor is plus 1. My common factor is plus 1. Then I have 2y minus 1 left. I hope you can see that. So that at the end of the day, my common factor is only plus 1 here. Then I can have 2y and minus 1 left. So that's how that factorization went. So, okay, now this is 3y plus 1 times what? 2y minus 1 is 0. So that gives you 3y plus 1 is 0, or 2y, or what? 2y minus 1 is 0. So 3y is 0 minus 1, or 2y is what? Or 2y is 0 plus 1. 3y is minus 1, or 2y is 1. So that's what? Y is minus 1 over 3, or y is 1 over 2. So that gives you y is minus 1 over 3, or 1 over 2. Okay. let's go. That was 43. Let's go to 44. We just like 6 questions to go. 44 is 6h squared plus 13h minus 5 is 0. 6h squared plus 13h minus 5 is 0. So let's multiply straight. 6 times minus 5, that's minus 13. What factors of minus 30 we add to give plus 13 and multiply to give minus 13? By now you should have an eye for factors. It should be plus 15 and minus 2. So 6h squared plus 15h minus 2h minus 5 is what? 0. That gives me what? That gives me 3h. 2h plus 5 minus 1, 2h plus 5 is equal to 0. So 3h minus 1, 2h plus 5 is what? 0. So 3h minus 1 is 0, or 2h plus 5 is 0. 3h is 0 plus 1, or what? 2h is 0 minus 5. What does that give you? 3h is 1, or 2h is what? Minus 5. H is 1 over 3, or h is what? H is minus 5 over 2. That means h is 1 over 3, or minus 2 and a half. H is 1 over 3, comma, minus 2 over 5. Comma minus 2, 1 over 2, 45 now. That was 44. Let's go to 45. 16t squared is 49. 16t squared is 49. This is similar to the one we did recently. 16t squared minus 49 is 0. 16 is a perfect square. So instead of writing 16, I can write 4 squared. So 4 squared t squared minus 7 squared is 0. 49 too is a perfect square. So I can write it as 7 squared. This can be written as 4t all squared minus 7 squared is what? 0. That gives me what? That gives me 40. This is a difference of 2 squares. That gives me 40 plus 7. 40 minus 7 is 0. 40 plus 7 is 0, or 40 minus 7 is 0. I hope you can see this one. 40 is 0 minus 7, or 40 is 0 plus 7. I hope you can see this word senior. So that's what 40 is equal to minus 7, or 40 is equal to plus 7. At the end of the day, you get what? T is equal to minus 7 over 4, or T is equal to 7 over 4. Minus 7 over 4, or T is 7 over 4. T is what? Minus 1, 3 over 4, or T is 1 over 3 over 4. So T is minus 1, 3 over 4, or what? 1, 3 over 4. So that ends question 45. Let's go to 46. There are 2 ways of doing this last question, but I don't need to show you the second method since you know it well. 4r squared minus 49 is 0. 4r squared minus 49 is 0. Can you see this senior? 4 is a perfect squared, so I can write 4 as 2 squared. So 2 squared r squared minus 7 squared is 0. 49 too is a perfect squared, so instead of writing 49, I can write 7 squared. So 2r all squared, that can be written as 2r all squared minus 7 squared is 0. It now becomes a difference of 2 squares. This is like a squared minus b squared, which factorizes into a plus b times a minus b is 0. So I can now do difference of 2 squared. My difference of 2 squares will give me 2r. The factorization will lead to 2r plus 7 times 2r minus 7 is 0. So 2r plus 7 is 0, or 2r minus 7 is 0. So 2r is 0 minus 7, or what? 2r is 0 plus 7. That gives you 2r is minus 7, or 2r is 7. R is minus 7 over 2, or what? R is 7 over 2, or R is 7 over 2. So R is minus 3 and a half, or R is what? 3 and a half. So R is minus 3 and a half, or 3 and a half. So that's number 46. 47 now. 47 now. 8s squared plus 14s is what? 15. 8s squared. 8s squared plus 14s is equal to 15. I'm supposed to bring 15 to the left. So I'll do 8s squared plus 14s minus 15 is what? 0. So what do I do next? 8 times minus 15. That will give me what? Minus 120. Now the factors, two factors that we multiply to give minus 120 and add to give plus 14 are plus 20 and minus 6. Plus 20 and what? Minus 6. So I'm supposed to write my, let me write this, plus 21. So I'm supposed to write my next step as 8s squared. 8s squared plus what? Plus 20s minus 6s minus 15 is 0. Now 8s and 20s, 4s is common. This is 2s plus 5. Also minus 6s and minus 15 minus 3 is common. This is 2s plus 5 also is equal to 0. So 4s minus 3 times 2s plus 5 is equal to 0. What I expect you to do here is very simple. I expect you to pause the video, figure out the factors yourself. Figure out the factors yourself in places where I didn't show elementary steps because of how many times we've done it together. So you should pause the video and try to do the factorization yourself. So this is 4s minus 3 is 0, or 2s plus 5 is 0. Try to do the factorization yourself and master. Try to figure out how we got those factors. So 4s is what? 3, or 2s is minus 5. 4s is 3, or 2s is minus 5. That gives s is 3 over 4, or s is what? Minus 5 over 2. S is 3 over 4, or minus 2 and a half. We can leave the grammar out and just simply write s is 3 over 4, comma minus 2 and a half. Is that clear? So that was 47. Let's go to question 48. We are rounding off gradually. 48 is 6x squared is equal to 7x plus 20. 6x squared is 7x plus 20. We collect all the terms to the left. 6x squared minus 7x minus 20 is 0. And multiply. 6 times 20 is minus 120. 6 times 20 is minus 120. What factors of minus 120? We add to give minus 7, add to give minus 7, and multiply to give minus 120. If you do it very well, you will get plus 8 and minus 15. Plus 8 minus 15 will multiply to give minus 120, and plus 8 minus 15 we add to give minus 7. So this is 6x squared. This is 6x squared. 6x squared plus 8x minus 15x minus 20 is equal to what? 0. So use your higher factors to get it. 2x is the common factor. You have 3x plus 4 left inside the bracket. Here, what is common is going to be minus 5. 3x plus 4 is 0. So my factors are 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 4 is equal to what? 0. What does this give you? This gives you 2x minus 5 is 0, or 3x. This gives you, I'm writing the same step again. I should be writing 2x is 0 plus 5, 5. Okay, I made a mistake here. I shouldn't have kept this. Okay, I've skipped a step. I skipped a step there. Let's go back and correct it. So 2x minus 5 times what? 3x plus 4 is 0. So 2x minus 5 is 0, or 3x plus 4 is 0. So 2x is 0 plus 5, or 3x is 0 minus 4. 2x is 5. 2x is 5, or 3x is what? Minus 4. What does that give you? That gives you x is 5 over 2, or that gives you x is 5 over 2, or x is minus 4 over 3. So x is 2 and a half, or x is minus 1 over 3. So x is 2 and half, or minus 1 over 3. That's number 48. Let's do the last two now. 49 and 50. Question 49. Question 49 says 12y squared plus y minus 35 is 0. 12y squared plus y minus 35 is 0. Let me check that again. Okay. 12y squared plus y minus 35 is 0. So I'm to do 12 times minus 35. Okay, that's supposed to be minus 420. Two numbers that we add to give plus 1 and multiply to give minus 420, because there's a 1 here. Now two numbers that we add to give plus 1 and multiply to give minus 420 are plus 21 and minus 20. Those numbers are plus 21 and minus 20. So I'm supposed to write 12y squared plus 21y minus 20y minus 35 is 0. What is the common factor here? It should be 3y. 3y, 4y, 3y, 4y plus 7. Then here, the common factor should be what? Minus 5, 4y plus 7 is 0. So we have our factors now. 3y minus 5 times what? 4y plus 7 is what? 0. What does that give you? 3y. That gives you 3y minus 5 is 0, or 4y plus 7 is 0. So 3y is 0 plus 5, 5, or 4y is 0 minus 7 minus 7. Y is 5 over 3, or y is minus 7 over 4. Okay, if you put that together very well, you get y is 1, 2 over 3, or minus 1, 3 over 4. I think that ends question 49. Let's now do the last one, number 50. 63z is 49 plus 18z squared. 63z is 49 plus 18z squared. This one, we're going to have to take 63z to the right. So let's leave 0 here and take 63z to the right to meet the remaining terms. 49 plus 18z squared minus 63z. Can you see that? Then I can rearrange 49 plus 18z squared minus 63z is equal to 0, because in math, if left hand side is equal to right hand side, if left hand side is equal to right hand side, you can also write that right hand side is also equal to left hand side. So that's what I just did. I can rearrange further to get 18z squared. 18z squared minus 63z plus 49 is 0. Nothing is crossing the equality sign here, so their signs will not change. Everything is still on the left and on the left here too. I just, reshuffle them. Now, next thing is to do 18 times 49. What's 18 times 49? Let me get my calculator. 18 times 49. That's pretty easy. You must laugh. And I say pretty easy. 18 times 49 is 882. So that gives me plus 882. What factors of 882 we add to give minus 63 and multiply to give plus 882? Those factors are minus 42 and minus 21. You can check it yourself. So this gives me 18z squared minus 42z minus 21z plus 49 is 0. I'll have to be fast now. So 18z squared, this is 6z, 3z minus 7. This is minus 7, 3z minus 7 is 0. So that's 6z minus 7 times what? 3z minus 7 is equal to 0. So moving on, I'll get 6z minus 7 is 0, or what? 3z minus 7 is 0. So 6z is 0 plus 7, or 3z is 0 plus 7. So 6z is 7, or 3z is what? 7. Z is what? 7 over 6, or z is 7 over 3. So z is one number, 1 over 6, or 2 number, 1 over 3. I can put the two together as z is 1 number, 1 over 6, or 2 number, 1 over 3. That ends exercise 10E. I'll give you a few questions to answer as your exercise. Maybe send it to you.